All right. Hey, what up, Internet? I'm here at Play Garden.
Hello.
Feature, you want to introduce yourself? Say what you do.
I'm Fernando. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Steven. I play bass.
Angelo, keys.
Damien, guitar.
All right.
And we all do other stuff too, but it's mostly what we do.
Yeah. All right. And so how'd your band get its name?
We started this band right before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a silly name. It was called Wretch, and it just didn't fit. It didn't fit because the music evolved a little bit more. And my wife actually came up with it just out of nowhere, and I really liked it. And it was during the plague, so it was pretty fitting. So that's pretty much the COVID pandemic. That's where we got our name from.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you just recently put out your new album, Under the Sanguine Moon.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one question I always like to ask. Did the release date of January 3rd have some sort of significance, or was it just a convenient day?
It kind of it coincided with that show is kind of what we decided to do.
Right. Yeah. No, it was just we were able to book a venue that it's kind of like the place that everybody plays out here. And there was an open slot. So we're like, well, let's just make it special and make it our album release. That way it gave us a deadline and everything. And I got to tell you, it was a little stressful trying to get like the vinyl and like everything.
And the CDs and everything in hand before the show. Yeah.
But it happened. And I was very happy to have the vinyl for that show.
We were originally going to do it on January 6th and hope the album would retake back over the government, but we thought that was overreach.
We all protest in our own little ways here. So
Absolutely. Let's see. All right. So, did I actually? No, I did not. Okay. All right. The cover art for the album. Where did that come from?
So the cover art for this album right here.
Oh, okay.
So
Shameless
right. So Damien has the hobby of going to different cemeteries and taking photos. Like,
Yeah.
he has some killer photos from all these different cemeteries and stuff. And there was this particular statue that looked really cool. That it had a little bit of snow on the head and stuff. It didn't quite look just right. So we went back out there and found the statue, that same statue, and took some photos with with a professional camera and everything.
Here we go. Now I can do that.
Yeah.
Everyone listening can see it.
So this is, it's actually a real statue in a cemetery. That's the real sky behind it. It's not AI. It's a real photograph. And Angelo is our graphic designer, so he put all sorts of cool like filters and made it red and all that stuff. So
Sweet.
Angelo does all of our artistic designs and stuff like that. All of our artwork. We do it all in-house.
I understand. I do all my crap too. So if you could summarize what?
It's the way to do it. DIY,
Absolutely. If you could summarize the message of this album in just a few words, what would you say?
Anybody? I think it's it's a vampire themed album. Basically we started doing themes. Like the next album is going to have a theme. I'm not going to reveal that just yet, but the previous album before this was called Blue Captain, and it was kind of pirate themed, kind of nautical and pirate themed. So it's vampire theme. Next time it's going to be something else.
Everyone in the band tends to contribute lyrics in one way or another, either by actually writing lyrics or collaborating when we're putting riffs together, and lyrics just sort of kind of shape where we're headed in terms of songwriting. And for this album, we had a couple of songs that were vampirically themed. And so we kind of decided that we would sort of take that and run with it, so that with the third song, the fourth song, we kind of kept going with that theme, and before we knew it, the whole album had something or in one way or another to do with creatures of the night, bloodletting, vampires, that whole mythology, mythos, and sort of the romanticism of the, that sort of vampiric sort of literature and Gothic sort of theme. So it came together naturally, but when we realized that it's coming together, and we just, like I said, we just kind of ran with it. It seemed to work.
Kind of an easy topic to roll with too, being a goth rock band.
Yeah, exactly. Like straight up death, transformation,
very tongue in cheek, really.
Like some of it, yeah. It's a little bit more.
So as Damien was mentioning, yes, we all collaborate. We all write different parts. Sometimes Steven might get inspired and he'll write some lyrics, or he'll start with a bass line, or Angelo will start playing a tune on the keyboard, and we'll all join in. And that's actually, it'll evolve into a song. So we all kind of just take turns.
So why did you decide to do the cover of Number One Crush?
I don't know. It was really weird. That one kind of it popped in my head. We played Wichita. It was a great show in Wichita. It was a fun scene out there.
My friend's a band from Wichita.
Yeah, remains to be seen. Awesome band, by the way. So I was taking the elevator back to the room, the motel room, and it just popped in my head. It was really weird because I haven't heard that song in years. This is the second cover that Plague Garden does. And for me personally, for my voice, I like to cover female lyrics. I'd rather cover a song that a lady is singing for some reason, just to make it different, The previous cover was it was on our second album, and it was Twisted My Sobriety by Tanita Tikaram that we did in kind of a more Leonard Cohen style. But it just popped in my head. I don't know how or what, but I love that song, and I mentioned it, and Steven was really excited about it, and because that bass line is just intense, right?
It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's fun bass line. It was cool because we're crammed into this hotel room in Wichita, Kansas, all our gear's in there and stuff like that. And Fernando goes down to get like coffee or something. Yeah. Comes back up and he's like, "Man, I just had this idea. What's the song that goes like this?" And I'm like, "That's Number One Crush." I'm like, "Hell yeah." And I love Butch Vig. I've Pumpkins. I've always been a Garbage fan, so I was just like, "Hell yeah." And we went with it, and I think we had it pretty much down within like couple weeks after we got back.
How do you like that bass line?
It's a little hard on the forearm, I will say that. Because it's on. You got to have the 5-string, which I got, and then you got to use your pinky a lot. So it's a fast bass line.
Yeah, using a pinky bass. Can you just imagine that?
Oh yeah,
it's gotta hurt
quickly. Yeah.
All right. Tell me about the song Los Niños Perdidos. Why did you decide to include a song in, I believe it was Spanish?
It's just a little rant that I had because I'm cool, and it felt right. I wanted to put a song in Spanish into the work for Plague Garden, and Los Niños Perdidos. It just means the Lost Boys. So right. It's real simple lyrics, just over and over again. It's just kind of a nod to the Latino goth scene that we have out here in Denver. We got a lot of Latino goths.
Oh, really?
A lot of people of color, a lot of LGBTQ. You name it. We are very diverse out here. We're pretty out here, and we support our fellow brothers and sisters.
Sweet. That's awesome. For all you watching, if you have any questions for the band, pop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to ask. All right. So tell me about the song Religion. What inspired it?
That was an early one.
That was an early one, wasn't it?
Very early. That was one of the first songs we actually put together for the album.
Right.
But
so long ago, I don't remember.
I remember you sent it to me one night, late night, and was like, "Check this out." I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
You kind of have to realize that this is the first album that Stephen and I have participated in because we're fairly new members of the band.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Stephen, you joined a little more than a couple of years ago. I joined just about 2 years ago. So the past 2 years, we've been working on ideas, letting things kind of percolate with riffs and lyrics and things just coming together. So, Religion was, before we even started talking about like a theme for the album, that's one of the actual early songs that sort of gave us a direction in terms of theme. With the writing Stephen does, that in my opinion, it's just an immense influence on the direction of the band. Stephen's got really catchy, intense, heavy bass lines. And my background is a bit more. I mean, I'm a little bit older. I got into goth back in the mid 80s, 85, 86.
1800.
And so my history with goth and death rock goes way back. And I have a lot of background in death rock music. That's kind of where a little bit more of my influence, I think, sort of comes in with the guitars and stuff like that. Not a huge influence on the direction of the writing, but it adds a little flavor to the songs. But where I'm kind of going with that is Religion was really the first song that I felt personally that it showed where we would be headed in terms of our influence and what we would bring into Play Garden, kind of building on what the band had already created with the three albums and just kind of taking it in a new direction. And when we kind of started putting it together, we were like, this is actually, interesting, intriguing. We'll see where it goes. When Religion came together, we were like, hell yeah, this is good shit, So we were pretty excited about it.
Right. And then we also wanted to be a little diverse with the vocals, and that's where Azzy Betts comes in. Azzy is amazing. And
Love Azzy.
She obviously has an amazing voice too.
Oh yeah.
So being a fan of her previous band, The Palest Gray, I really liked her vocals on some of her songs there. She pops up on a couple of their songs, singing. So she added the whole vampire flavor to that song.
Right.
Singing about vampires in Tokyo and on the streets over here and there and all over the world, vampires and stuff. And it kind of just snowballed from there into a vampire album.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So thanks, Azzy.
Well, and it was exciting to work with her again because Pandora had been technically a previous release.
Yeah, it was technically a single, but
yeah. So it was good to throw her on this album and get her again on that. It was good.
So we were also blessed to have Brian Gillette from Witch Hands on most of these drum tracks.
Okay.
Which like Pandora was originally a single, but it had more like electronic drums. It was a little more dark wavy. So when we redid the album version, it has Brian on drums, and it definitely gives it more of a rock feel to it, And we do have Dan Milligan from the Joy Thieves on one track, which is Crush. That's probably why Crush feels a little bit different. The drumming is different because it's a different drummer. We just felt that Dan was the person for that song because it's totally like it's kind of a departure from the album, but it kind of ties back in towards the end. So.
So in the comments, we have someone saying, "I love this. I hand delivered the new vinyl to a friend in Albuquerque."
Oh, is that who's that? Bobby or Kenny or?
That's Gail Maloney.
Who?
Gail.
Gail. Oh, cool. All right. Thanks, Gail.
Thank you, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
So how long were you working on this album?
About 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
Just about
A couple years.
I mean, we all have real jobs, so it's like,
we
do as we possibly can.
Yeah, not to smear any musicians that are musicians for their real job.
No, I'm envious, but you know what I mean.
We're envious.
Day jobs, yeah.
Right. I work construction, so not fun.
Did you have any like technical difficulties finishing up the album, or did everything just work well?
You talk about the Spotify debacle, but
Oh no.
Spotify hates us, but it's
Yeah.
okay because we hate Spotify too. So take that, Spotify.
with the thread and all the trouble.
Oh, I don't know. So we recently did. Since the new guy got elected, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So we did a fundraiser for the Trevor Project.
I love that.
Yeah, we try to help, and we did a fundraiser for the Trevor Project, and I boosted the post on our page, and we raised like $130 something. Hopefully, it helps a little,
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know if there's like no more filter on Facebook or something, because we got like almost 300 hateful comments, like
holy shit,
slurs, like just bad, like who are
wow.
It's like they don't even like our music. These, I'll go on their profiles and they're like these bitter 70-year-old men, these angry boomers with like American flag shirts and stuff. I'm like, are these people, or are they bots? What's going on? So we're always fighting against those people. So
My boy got personally attacked.
yeah, personally. So we've been getting attacked. So
I understand.
we'll have to do another fundraiser soon. Maybe a woke or something, like, I'm proud to be woke, but apparently like caring about people is wrong to.
Yeah.
Jesus would not like that.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Jesus wasn't born with a red hat, so I don't know.
Well, definitely, if you do another one, let me know. I'll share the hell out of it.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I won't boost the post. We'll just do it organic.
Right. That was
yeah. Oh, they even hacked my account and everything. Like I
holy
just
shit.
covered, had to get a new bank card, all sorts of stuff. It's a whole nother story, but
yeah.
I'm sure why that if that's not why the new album was taken down off of Spotify.
It could be. I don't know.
They took it down saying that we had 18 inorganic listeners.
Yeah, 18 listeners.
Basically bots, I guess.
Yeah.
And so
18. What a calamity.
Right?
18 bots. Oh no, get my one penny
out
back.
Of 4,000 listeners that we gained.
Spotify will destroy your music career if you just try to get 1/100th of a cent.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, it's like if they could do away with the penny like Trump's trying to, how are they going to pay their listeners?
So like they pulled the album from Spotify and we lost over 1,000 listeners.
Yep.
Oh man, that's awful.
Over 18 bots or whatever. I don't even know how that happened. So
yeah.
Wow.
No real technical difficulty, I would say, but difficulty.
Yeah, leading up to sense. A little bit.
I mean, Spotify is just kind of the epitome of what's really wrong with our, going on with this country and wrong with the world, really, with all that right-wing crap going on and
absolutely,
and big business and stuff. But I love Bandcamp. I got to tell you, I love Bandcamp so much. Just like the last Bandcamp Friday was to help the wildfire, victims of the wildfires in LA. Bandcamp always doing something positive for the community.
Absolutely. I love Bandcamp. I always tell people, go to the band's Bandcamp before you look anywhere else, because it's totally fuck everybody over.
Exactly. Their website, either go to the band's website if they don't have one, go to their Bandcamp. Yep. And, but we are on all streaming platforms. So, whatever your flavor is, you can find us there.
Right. Do you have any shows coming up?
We do. Let's see. On the
Monday,
March 10th.
March 10th. We're playing with a band called Crush of Souls from France. They're on the Avant label, like Miriam and a couple other bands and stuff. So they're coming to Denver to the High Dive, and we're playing with Crush of Souls and another cool band from Denver called Weathered Statues. Cool death rock band. They totally sound like kind of like a Exmal Deutschland sounding, kind of like death rock, which is really cool. So that's our next show. And then we have we have some coming. That hasn't been announced yet, but we got a couple coming up. And then we're also looking to do small little tours. Like we can't obviously do like a full long tour because of our jobs and stuff.
Right.
So we try to plan little spurts, little trips, maybe like a week long at the most, and try to hit as many places as we can, and then come back home and go to work.
Yeah. All right. This question is a little bit weird and off the wall, but I like to ask it.
Do it. I like weird.
All right. If each of you was an ice cream flavor, which one would it be? So it's not your favorite ice cream; it's which one you are.
Well, that's hard. Yeah. Ice creams. What flavor would I be? Tutti Frutti?
Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity.
I mean, I am wearing a Tom of Finland shirt, so
I would be a whiskey brickle. Anybody that knows me knows why.
Okay.
I would be a jalapeno ice cream because I'm a little spicy and I'm a little Latino.
There we go.
I like caramel, but lots of toppings. So.
You saying you like to get topped?
Oh yeah. Absolutely not. But
Bummer.
yeah. No.
Over in the comments, it says much love to Fernando from the Ferret.
Oh, nice. Percy Ferret from Scotland. Check out Industrial Ferret and Electro Ferret. Percy Ferret started a compilation way back in the day called Electro Villain. And our first industrial band, EHPH, is on there. This band right here. We make industrial music as well. Which we'll get into those here in a second. But yes, Percy is awesome, dude. Top notch. Hi, Percy. So yeah, I'll check out those Electro Villain compilations. I'd like to mention some of our side projects that we or other projects that we're involved in, starting with Damien.
I'm also in another local, as I mentioned a little while ago, a little bit of my background is a little more heavily influenced by death rock. And so there is a local-ish death rock band based out of Colorado Springs, which is about an hour and a half away. And I've been playing guitar with Witch Hands for about a little bit more than a year now. So there's that. And on a more personal level, what I have been wanting to do for a number of years is kind of write a personal love letter to the goth music that I grew up listening to in the late 80s and early 90s, like mid-period Christian death, like the Wind-Kissed Pictures and Believers of the Unpure era and Atrocities and the Scriptures eras of Christian death, and bands like Nosferatu, Rosetta Stone, that kind of thing, Children on Stun. So what I started doing is writing music that was kind of a little bit more of that era. I've done that for a couple of years now, but I hadn't really put much together up until probably the past year or so. But that project is called Ceremonial Leather. And I write all the music, I record all the music myself in my home studio. And I write all the lyrics and everything. But once I have the music recorded and I have the lyrics written, I hand that over to Fernando, and Fernando works his magic because my vocals are crap. And he's got that nice kind of deep sort of mid-period goth vocal styling that I really love. Kind of like that Fields of the Nephilim, that kind of thing. And so I hand the music over to Fernando, and he takes care of singing the vocals on that project. And from there, he takes the songs and he does all of the behind-the-scenes magic in terms of mixing, mastering, adding, whatever it takes to kind of add those final touches to give it a little magic that the songs need. So it's basically a project between the two of us. We do our own thing with it. Currently, there's only like 4 songs, but I have enough songs written to probably release 2 albums at this point. I'm just kind of releasing each song as singles. I think, Fernando, you're sitting on like 3 more songs now that you're kind of working on vocals for. And once those 3 are done, they're going to be released.
I think one of those is done.
Yeah, that's actually, one of them's actually done. So that's going to be released pretty soon. And we just kind of do that as sort of like an assembly line. I work on the next song, put it together, hand it over. He does the vocals. He wraps it up and we release it.
As a listener, he's got some really catchy guitar riffs. Like if you remember anything from the music, are those crazy guitar riffs that are so catchy.
Appreciate it.
Stick in your head.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I do when I'm not doing Play Garden, Witch Hands and Ceremonial Leather. That's about it for me.
And Angelo is also half of F, EHPH.
Mm-hmm.
When did we start that? 2015? Yeah.
Yeah.
F started in 2015.
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
As I mentioned earlier before we started rolling, Jim Simonic, great guy. Electronic Saviors, his compilation is amazing. He raises a lot of money for cancer research. Our industrial band is going to be featured on the Bandcamp bonus portion of Electronic Saviors 7. So
Nice.
L for EHPHF. It's that song is actually dedicated to Luigi Mangione. So yeah, I said that.
Oh, yeah.
You're on a list.
So yeah, now I'm on the list.
That's okay. I think we're all on this somewhere.
We're all on the list.
All right.
Just
For
put me on the
sure.
woke list. What else?
I don't know. Origins, like how did we all start? Like,
Yeah, right. How do you start?
well, I mean, I was pretty much born goth.
I understand.
Peter Murphy and Bela Lugosi hooked up. And
He doesn't look a day over
Cemetery.
600. So
I know. Gotta drink blood, stay out of the sun. You're good.
you got to have a couple vampires in the band.
Now, my sister, shout out to Alicia Rohde. She was a goth girl in the LA scene. She's 6 years older than me. So she grew up in clubs like the Scream,
Helter
and
Skelter.
Helter Skelter. I even got to go to Helter Skelter before I was of age because she put me in. And so I was basically goth by the time I knew what music was. I even like saw and met and partied with 9 Inch Nails before the Pretty Hate Machine tour started.
Nice.
And stuff. And my first concert, same as his,
His first concert, it was The Cure, the Prayer Tour.
Pixies.
Cure,
Love and
Love and
Rockets.
Rockets, and the Pixies. at
Yeah, we
Dodger
didn't know each
Stadium.
other back
We
then.
both lived in LA at the time.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but we grew up anyway. And so yeah.
That
And-
was high school.
yeah, right. And mostly I played slap bass my whole life. I bought my first bass at 13, so 35 years ago.
That was,
And most of my bands were a slap type of thing where I'd put it with industrial projects or metal projects.
like Levi.
Yeah, Levi from the Thrill Kill Cult. Charles Levi. He's one of my major influences. Shout out to Charles. He's going through some stuff right now. He's got a GoFundMe. If you can help him, that would be great. But yeah, he's one of my major influences for slap bass playing. And then when I got, I saw you guys opening up for what, Boot Blacks, I think.
Yeah,
It was Boot Blacks, and I'm like, oh, I love these bass lines, and I can play those. But it sounds better with a pick. So this is the first band I've ever
It's just
played
the style.
with a pick. How'd you guys start?
I started in a band called Wire Trap, and it was just to get my feet wet. One of my first shows playing on stage was opening for Thrill Kill Cult. So
Nice.
that was pretty cool. I was pretty damn nervous. But it evolved from there, and then just I've always made music at home, like noise music, avant-garde, experimental. Like, so I've been making just weird music for like 30 years so far, but not really on a professional level since maybe 10 years on a professional level. And so with F, I had another bandmate that we started the band with, and we kind of went our separate ways, and Angelo was always there. He was doing our video stuff, all our art stuff, all this. I'm like, hey, you want to join F? And we've been F ever since. Yeah. So quite a while.
I've got to ask where that band name came from.
Oh, it's F for Fernando.
Oh, there we go.
but it's spelled like this.
I love that.
The H is for humble.
Yeah, right. Yeah, something I'm not.
Which one? The first one or the second one?
I wouldn't even know what the second one. I'll go there. What else would you like to know?
I don't know.
It's like I'm done.
Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
Is there? Well, let's give a shout out to big shout out to Witch Hands, the other band that he's in. Those are our homies. We love those guys. Shout out to Possessor. I DJ at a club called Possessor with my friend Brenda, Precious Blood. So I am a part-time resident DJ over there. You guys want to give some shout outs? Or?
I mean, I shouted out a couple people already.
Yeah, we said hi to Azzy. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Lots of local bands that have just do amazing.
Lots of we have such a rich scene over here in Denver.
Leaded Statues, Church Fire. Church Fire is just
Church Fire. Wow.
Deveratus.
Hex
Cassette.
They're amazing. Hex Cassette is absolutely
Voight,
phenomenal.
Tetrachroma.
Lots of local bands that
We're probably missing somebody.
Is Occult's really considered local? Or?
Occults.
Oh yeah,
Occults for sure. Yeah.
Emilio is awesome. He's come to most of our shows, and they just put out an amazing album too, Occults. So keep your eye out for them. They're freaking amazing. If you like Twin Tribes, you'll love Occults.
Sweet.
Who else?
Bloodletter.
Yeah, Bloodletter. Oh, so Bloodletter
on the label, right?
I just finished mixing and mastering their new EP. So keep an eye out for Bloodletter. They're freaking amazing, like amazing songwriters.
Yeah, Bloodletter, no vowels.
Without the vowels.
No vowels.
No vowels.
Three D's for some reason. But their EP comes out tomorrow. So we're excited about that too. So I do a lot of mixing and mastering for our friends' bands and stuff. We have a small collective called Bleeding Light Music. And it's just a collective, like, friends. We get together, provide mixing and mastering, or they'll come here and record and stuff. And so we have Sputnik 3. We have the very first Red Wing Blackbird album. Shout out to Paul, Red Wing Blackbird. Who else is on Bleeding Light? Ceremonial Leather.
Yep.
Trip Noir. So speaking of trip hop, I'm also in another band called Trip Noir.
Busy guy.
Yeah, and this lady is an amazing vocalist, and I'm happy to just sit back and maybe play a little guitar, a little scratching on the vinyl turntables. Just trip hop, a little synthesizer. I don't have to sing or anything, which is great. Who else? I know we're probably forgetting some.
Oh, probably a bunch of people, but
well, we all love you. So if we didn't mention your name, we still love you. What else? Yeah. Shout out to Ken Magerman. We'll be talking to him next.
Yep, go check out his group Sounds and Shadows and check out his band Amaranth from Kalamazoo.
Yep. Great guy. Does a lot for the scene.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Cami, Spectral Music, good friend of ours. She's out in Germany now. She books bands and stuff like that. She's the one that got me on the Solar Fake tour. When I filled in for Andre for Solar Fake, we toured the United States and stuff. So she has brought many bands to the United States that otherwise would, like Minuet Machine, who else? Hapax, the Foreign Resort. Like, she's amazing. Spectral Music. So who else? That's about it. Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. And are you guys on like all the social medias?
Yeah. So
all right, do follow these guys all over the place.
all over. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over it. Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, you name it, we're on there.
All right, cool. Well,
thank you so much
for hopping on. If you have time or want to hang out after the credits, you're welcome to, but you definitely don't have to. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys and have a good day.
All right.
You
You too.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.